What's up, everybody? Today I am going to Google Winnipeg. Winnipeg is the city where I live, so I thought maybe I should find out what the internet thinks of Winnipeg. Before we dive in, I would love it if you would leave a like on this video and subscribe if you want to watch more stuff like this. What is Winnipeg? What is Winnipeg time zone? Central time zone. Is Winnipeg the central time zone? Yes, Central Daylight Saving Time. What is Winnipeg known for? The Winnipeg Folk Festival, which happens every summer. The Forks. Winnipeg is like the intersection of the Red and Assiniboine rivers, and where those two rivers meet is right in the middle of Winnipeg. It's a place called the Forks. The Winnipeg Jets are a hockey team in Winnipeg. What else would Winnipeg be known for? I mean, it's also like in the center of Canada. The Folk Fest, the Forks, and the Winnipeg Jets. Final answer. What is Winnipeg known for? Canadian Museum for Human Rights. I did say that, wasn't in my final answer. Royal Canadian Mint. Yeah, we have a mint in Winnipeg. If you want to see me try to get into the mint, leave a comment on this video and maybe we'll try sometime. The Manitoba Legislative Building. Yeah. The Forks, just like I said. The Winnipeg Art Gallery. The Canada Life Center. That is where the Winnipeg Jets play. Assiniboine Park. Assiniboine Park is really beautiful. Wikipedia says, known as the gateway to the West, Winnipeg is a railway and transportation hub with a diversified economy. I mean, that's a really great Wikipedia answer. Oh, there we go. The festivals, including the Festival du Voyageur, which is like a winter festival, the Winnipeg Folk Festival, the Jazz Winnipeg Festival, the Winnipeg Fringe Theater Festival, and Folklorama. So we got what is Winnipeg? Let's try why is Winnipeg? Why is Winnipeg so windy? Apparently, the intersection of Portage and Main, right in downtown Winnipeg, is like one of the windiest intersections in North America. Why is Winnipeg so windy? Winnipeg has a windy climate, which it owes to its prairie location. There are few natural barriers to prairie winds, allowing them to sweep down from the Arctic in wintertime. Northern winds. The combination of very low temperatures and high wind speed is dangerous and can be life-threatening. Okay, we got it. Winnipeg is windy because it's in the prairies. Arctic winds. Who is Winnipeg? Who is Winnipeg? Oh, it gave me the answer. Who's Winnipeg Mayor? Scott Gillingham. Shout out to Scott Gillingham. So we got who is Winnipeg? What is Winnipeg? Why is Winnipeg? Where is Winnipeg? Where is Winnipeg? It's in Manitoba. If you would look at a map of Canada, Winnipeg's pretty much in the middle, just above the border. It's low to the bottom of Canada, kind of the southern part of Canada, right in the middle. It is at the confluence of the Red and Assiniboine rivers. Where's Winnipeg? Winnipeg is the capital and largest city of the province of Manitoba in Canada. It is centered on the confluence of the Red and Assiniboine rivers. I'm just like a living Wikipedia. Bang, bang. Okay. When is Winnipeg? When is Winnipeg expecting snow? Anytime now. Yeah, usually we get snow, I'd say on and off. You can kind of expect we might get snow on or around Halloween. Usually that's around the time. In Winnipeg, when you go trick-or-treating, it's usually pretty smart to pick a Halloween costume that you might be able to be warm in, or that you could put a jacket over or a sweater under, because there's a chance it could be freezing, it could be snow. So sort of, I would say late October, early November, that's usually when it snows in Winnipeg. And we have nice long winters in Winnipeg, so if you're gonna come after November or before March, bundle up. Winnipeg Jets. It's a hockey team. There was a whole thing about the Winnipeg Jets. I know that when I was growing up, when I was a kid, in the 90s, the Winnipeg Jets left Winnipeg and they moved to Phoenix and they became the Phoenix Coyotes. I know that my friends, we wanted the Jets to come back, and then one day they did. The Jets came back and it was a super huge deal, and I don't think Winnipeg ever wants to let the Jets go again. So, hooray for the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg weather. It's hot in the summer and it's cold in the winter. In between, we have a very short fall and we have a very kind of a short spring as well. It kind of turns pretty fast. It's a little bit unpredictable during spring and fall, but eventually we set in for the cold and eventually we set in for the warm. So, Winnipeg weather. It's currently 4 degrees Celsius, cloudy. It's just giving me like a weather for today. Winnipeg has weather. Winnipeg news. Winnipeg Jets schedule. Winnipeg Airport. Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Is Winnipeg. Sure. Is Winnipeg Central Time? Yes, we know that for sure. Is Winnipeg safe? Huh, that's a good question. I need to qualify that question a little bit, but safe compared to what? It's not a huge city. It's a kind of a smaller city. It's a prairie city. I mean, Winnipeg isn't like a town. It's not a village. I mean, you gotta lock your doors and you need to, be aware of where you are, Is Winnipeg a good place to live? Yes. Winnipeg's a great place to live. One of the things about Winnipeg that makes it a great place to live, Winnipeg is super affordable. I lived in Toronto for a while. I have friends who have lived in Vancouver. There are bigger cities out there, but generally with a bigger city, I mean, it's expensive. Big cities are popular and they're more expensive. Winnipeg is a smaller city. It's sort of, generally speaking, I like to think about Winnipeg as Canada's best kept secret. It's this little gem of a place. There is great community here in Winnipeg. There are great neighborhoods. There are great places to eat. There are lovely people here. I've spent the last year and a bit exploring Winnipeg and celebrating Winnipeg. I'm sure you could watch any number of my other videos to see whether or not Winnipeg is a good place to eat, is a good place to explore. I would say 100% yes. Is Winnipeg a good place to live? Yes. Winnipeg's great. Is it a good idea to move to Winnipeg? Google sounding answer. Winnipeg is a vibrant city that offers an enjoyable living experience, walkable neighborhoods, and work opportunities. Winnipeg is a perfect choice for an urban lifestyle with its culture and contemporary way of life. There is something for everyone to enjoy. Yeah, there is. Winnipeg's a great place to live. Is Winnipeg the coldest city in Canada? I'd say no. We're like on the southern part of Canada. There's definitely has to be some colder cities up further north in Nunavut, in the Northwest Territories, or in the Yukon. And I even wonder about like in Quebec, there are some like very cold cities there. So I'd say no. Winnipeg is a very cold city in the winter, but I don't think it's the coldest city in Canada. What does Google think? Yes. According to Environment Canada, Winnipeg is the coldest major city in Canada. That doesn't mean that other smaller cities aren't colder right here in Manitoba. Thompson is colder than Winnipeg. Okay, so I think it's kind of like a yes and no. There's colder places. But yes, Winnipeg is very cold in the winter, so bundle up in the winter. Are Winnipeg Jets moving? They better not be. How is Winnipeg doing in the playoffs? How is Winnipeg for international students? I know quite a few international students here. I know that the University of Manitoba has a very large international student population, and I think that it's sort of, in a lot of ways, kind of catered towards that. There's housing real nearby. I know that a lot of the apartment buildings near the University of Manitoba are really good for international students. Yeah, Winnipeg as a city gets cold, but I think in terms of the people and the culture, etc., it's a friendly place. Again, I don't think Winnipeg is necessarily about the place so much as about the people. I think if you can get connected with a community here in Winnipeg, it's a lovely place to live. But if you get turned off by the weather, it might be tricky. Yeah. How is Winnipeg important to Canada? Winnipeg used to be known as the gateway to the West. So there's these two rivers that meet in Winnipeg called the Red and the Assiniboine rivers. And right there, they call that place the Forks. And there's a big train station right there as well. We have the Human Rights Museum, the Canadian Human Rights Museum, right in the heart of Winnipeg as well, and I think it's the only national human rights museum. I have to Google that one after this. But yeah, it's the capital of Manitoba, and it's not the biggest city in Canada, but I think it's kind of important. Winnipeg continues to be a major commercial, transportation, and cultural center. It is a multicultural city, enriched by the diverse peoples from across the world that have chosen to make it home. Winnipeg currently has the largest Indigenous population in Canada. How are Winnipeg roads today? Okay, so another thing about Winnipeg is very hot in the summer and very cold in the winter. Sometime during the year, we get a fair amount of precipitation. It's tough to build roads in Winnipeg that are gonna last because it's a fairly harsh environment. There are potholes in Winnipeg. Not all the roads are perfect. Some of them are breaking down a little bit, and other parts you just need to avoid altogether. I think, like the safety thing, just be aware. When you're driving, know where you're driving. Have an awareness about the road, the potholes. Certain areas, certain parts of the city break down more than others, oftentimes certain intersections. So the roads in Winnipeg are good, they're not great. Final answer. How are Winnipeg roads today? Oh, it was a traffic question. I mean, the traffic in Winnipeg is not bad. If you've lived in any other bigger city, I used to live in Toronto, you'd give yourself an hour, 2 hours to get into the city every day or get out of the city. Like, that's real traffic. Winnipeg, yeah, the other day, it took me an hour to get across the city during rush hour. And that was a lot. That was tough. But generally speaking, there is traffic. It's not the worst traffic. Okay, good. Winnipeg Google search complete. If you have any thoughts about Winnipeg that you want to share, please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye.